to respect all people as valuable, because everyone is a soul. To respect all people as valuable, because everyone is a soul. We go beyond whatever we're seeing that's maybe a physical habit that's not very pleasant and see the soul, because whatever I'm practicing as being good in me will also be good in others, although they're not practicing. But it's there. And if I remember that, it helps us to have those good feelings and good wishes. And so we start to see all people as valuable, because everyone's a soul. And it's when we practice Raj Yoga meditation, we keep our eyes open and we do our best to take drishti from whoever's in front or the picture, because this strengthens up our own identity of being a soul. It brings to the surface our own self-respect, because until I have self-respect, it's not easy to have respect for others, because I need to know that I also went along that same track. It takes away any arrogance or ego. But I also had to encourage myself to become aware of who I am. So this is what this is really all about. When I become aware of who I am, I can really treat others with that same respect, wherever they're coming from. Because I know that these are energies that are coming in front of people, and they don't know what to do except react to those energies and use them to interact. We may have different roles and specialities, but as souls, we're all equal. So if you were to take away the physical persona, take it away, there we would be souls, points of light. And as points of light, we would have within us love, peace, happiness, courage, strength, etc. All the qualities. We would all be sitting there with very, very similar qualities. So take away the physical aspect. And so if people get a position or a title, here's something we can identify with. And then they think that they're great, they're better than others, then this can lead other people to fear, or it can lead them to fear of losing their title or position. So they will use a lot of energy and force to show people this is who they are, this is their strength. And so this is what happens with physical energy. So when we become aware of ourselves and the journey, we learn to appreciate ourselves. And as we learn to appreciate ourselves, we begin to appreciate others, wherever they're coming from, because we understand the ups and downs and ins and outs of life. So allow your heart to be big and supportive and understanding, full of understanding and kindness. So allow your heart to be like this. This is something we personally do. And if we could remember that there is a sweet spiritual love that can encourage the sweetness to re-emerge in all souls. So it's a journey, it's always a journey. We had a long journey to get to where we're at. And before we became spiritually minded, we were on a long journey. And a lot of energy went into where we were at before we started to practice meditation. So the same for everyone. It's been a long journey, and we pick up many habits, and many of the habits are to defend ourselves or to keep ourselves strong, to keep ourselves healthy, to keep ourselves friendly, to keep our own integrity and self-importance. This was all involved in the journey before we practiced meditation. Meditation is something else. Meditation's telling you who you originally are and what you could do now to bring all your strengths back into your life, into the surface of your life, where you can then share them with others. There is a saying that love turns stone into water. So it means that something very tough can soften, become easier to work with when I feel good feelings towards that situation or that person. It can make it seem softer. But if I resist, it will still be hard and difficult, and I'll think, oh my goodness, I couldn't make any impression on that situation. And that's because I wasn't having love and understanding as to the journey and how that situation has come about. So it's easy to over-amplify the greatness of a few people and think they're extra special. Think, this soul is wonderful. Oh, this soul is so powerful, or this soul is so kind, or this soul really likes me. It's very easy to do this. Or this is my relative. This is my person. This person's always walking the journey with me. This is the greatest person. It's very easy to do that. But what you do is you put a burden on that soul, and you put a huge weakness on yourself. You put a chain round your ankle because you've tied yourself to something human or physical that you think will now be your support. Because in actual fact, Raja Yoga is teaching us to support ourselves and then give support to others. But if I think someone, I'll have to rush and see this one, that becomes a strong, strong weakness and attachment. To come to hear spirituality is different, but not particularly to hear the person or have such fondness for the person. It's the message that's important. The message is important. If people think that they are extra special, this can make others daunted or even lazy. So, or if someone thinks that you like this one better and that one better, and this one's your favourite, it can make them think, what's the point? This one doesn't even know that I exist. And I'm doing my best and I'm doing everything I can, but this one's focusing on a few people that they think are best. So this is not the way, actually. And these are human habits, very, very tricky habits to define and to pull back from. That everyone is actually special. Everyone is special. But in fact, everyone is a great soul, and all souls have a potential, and the best thing any of us can do is to keep nudging, pointing, and gently directing everyone to their own wonderful self. This is what Raj Yoga is all about, teaching us to appreciate who we are personally. Personally. And if I really am appreciative of myself personally, I will definitely become more and more appreciative of others. That's really the rule of energy. But if I'm not appreciating myself, I'll look for a support. Someone who is so nice to me, who likes me the best. That's not true, actually. It could all be a big act. And they also like someone else the best, and someone else the best, and then, where am I? I wasn't the best. So we mustn't go down that track of needing others to appreciate us in the wrong way, because we're all capable of being the best that we can possibly be. Otherwise, why would we be learning meditation, and what's the purpose of Raj Yoga? To teach us to become ourselves, our own valuable self. It's the self that's alive in your physical life. It's the self that's always alive in your physical life. People around you are not always going to be there in your physical life. You're always going to be there in your physical life. Always. And so it's to appreciate that self and to understand the obstacles that have come to yourself. This is the good thing. This is the wonder of obstacles. Because you understand that it was not a breeze pulling yourself together, understanding your weaknesses, understanding you had strengths, understanding that what others are doing to you, which you can see, casting you aside, having favourites, not appreciating the effort you're making. You can see that and you can understand how you felt. And when you do understand that, you don't want to do that to anyone else. You want to honour yourself and what you've learned. This is Raj Yoga. And you want to give others at least the power of dramatic respect, because they're also going through what you are going through. And if you think that you've become powerful because you've been doing Raj Yoga for a long time, then the proof of that is that you can begin to understand people more quickly and be helpful more and more and appreciative more and more, and have made vows to yourself, I'm not going to do that to others. And actually there'll be very few people, which is why it's really empowering to do Raj Yoga, there'll be very few people who have been able to see and experience the journey and have made those promises not to lay that on anyone else. Most people will just, without thinking, just go do what they're going to do, treat you how they're going to treat you, be casual, be dependent, have dislike, get annoyed. Most people will just be like that because that's the human habit. And we're human, but we've pulled away from those bad actions that gave us sadness and decided to look at the real me that's inside. And when I become peaceful, I can see clearly I wasn't happy with that. I was definitely dramatically not happy with that. And I can see how I've been treated, seemingly loved and adored, and it wasn't true. It wasn't true. And so we need to understand everyone will become disenchanted in many ways and give strength and respect to every soul. So you can keep nudging, pointing, and gently directing people to their own wonderful self. Because your own wonderful self is in there. Because we started off, before we'd collected lots and lots of physical habits that were hurting us. And so keep your self-respect. Maintain your dignity, but don't put yourself above others, because it just is not true. It's just a human role, if you like. It's not true. The thing that is true is how much respect for the self that you manage to accumulate, and how much you've accumulated you use to help others. So if you put yourself above others, it's not true, and it will just end up hurting them, because they'll be trying so hard to figure out why you don't like them anymore, or how they can't do anything to please you, or whatever. So it will end up hurting them and also hurting you. To respect all people as valuable, because everyone is a soul. Om Shanti.